Hey guys, what's good? It's me, J-Lei. You're watching J-Lei Sees, and today, J-Lei sees what 4,000 subscribers looks like. I can tell you that I feel appreciative, supported, humbled, grateful, but all of these seem like such understatements. Before this channel, I did dabble in YouTube a little bit before, and in a 5-year YouTube journey, I got 500 subscribers. So to go from that venture to this venture, where I got 4,000 subscribers in under 2 years, is mind-blowing. And each and every one of you have made it happen, so thank you so much. Now with that soppy bit out of the way, we're on to the main portion of this video, which is a Q&A. I asked you to ask me some questions, and boy did you deliver. So let's get straight into it, shall we? Okay, so question number 1 is from Lexi the Fangirl, and they have 2 questions. Number 1, have you ever been to America? And the answer is no, I haven't. I really wanted to do a road trip of Route 66 coast to coast, so start from Los Angeles and end up in New York, but it never really came to fruition. And this was about 10 years ago I made this plan, and funnily enough I wanted to get that dream done by 2020, but obviously the world closed down. Plus I didn't really have the funds anyway. It was kind of like a pipe dream, and it still is. And Lexi's other question is, what are a few series you'd like to react to after you finish the current ones? Now, Lexi, if I'm totally honest with you, I have been umming and ahhing about whether to stop doing TV series after The Walking Dead and just concentrate on movies. But on the flip side, editing TV shows and getting them past the copyright is so much less hassle than movies. So if I am to continue doing TV series, I want it to be like the biggest TV shows that took the world by storm. So I'm 100% open to recommendations. At the moment, as far as I'm aware, the most recommended one to me is Lost. But whatever I do decide to do, I will keep you updated. The next question comes from Hybrid Kiwi, and they ask that if I could insert myself into any fictional universe that I've watched, which one would I choose? And I am probably going to answer with Heartstopper. And that is simply because every other TV show that I watch involves murder. And I just don't think I'll survive in one of those kind of worlds. But I wouldn't mind spending a day with the crew from The Walking Dead, or maybe even attend a wedding at Game of Thrones from afar. But each world that I've entered during this YouTube journey has been great. I just don't think I'll survive very long in it. I'll be like the pilot episode casualty. Okay, the next question is from Bam Bam's Boys, and they asked, would you ever consider hosting a viewer that came to you, someone who might want to visit? And the answer to that is, yeah, I don't think I would mind, but I only live in a 1-bedroom flat, and I refuse to give up my bed for anyone, so they'll have to sleep on the couch. But where I live is actually quite a small town with not a lot to do, so if you are ever my way, I'll be happy to host you, but I wouldn't recommend coming here. The next question comes from Phyllis, and they would like to know why I don't give commentary at the end of my Walking Dead reactions over on Patreon. And there's a couple of reasons why. I don't know if these are going to be good enough excuses for you guys to let slip, but this is my truth, okay? Number 1 is just a timing and convenience thing. Every video that I put together, regardless if I've edited or not, there's a rendering period that usually takes about an hour and a half. So even on my unedited, uncensored and uncut reactions, it takes a while for me to actually get the video together. And it just basically saves time if I don't have to edit what I say afterwards. Plus, leaving my afterthoughts for the YouTube version gives people from my Patreon a reason to come back to YouTube. Wahaha. That's the method to my madness anyway. The next question comes from Brianna, and they've got 2 questions. The very first question is, what got you into creating this channel? So, in the beginning of 2020, I was backpacking across Europe. And obviously that had to stop because of the damn coronavirus. And I found myself with nothing to do. And then I don't even know how I stumbled upon it. You know what YouTube's like with the algorithm, just recommending new random shit. I was recommended a reaction to Harry Potter, and Harry Potter is like one of my favourite ever series ever. So I spent about a week watching people react and experience Harry Potter for the first time. And then by the end of it, I thought, oh my god, I actually think I can do this. I'm quite a talkative person. I'm a reactionary person. And where I haven't seen a lot of scripted TV and movies, I had a whole catalogue available to me to start this channel. So the very first series I ever did on this channel was a travel series reaction, because obviously I was missing my backpacking across Europe trip. And then it kind of just took a life of its own after I started Game of Thrones. And Brianna's next question is, what is your favourite thing to react to on your channel so far? Listen, anything that I've done more than 3 seasons of is worthy of being top tier for me. If you've been able to keep my attention span for 3 seasons, it's good. And then usually after the 3rd season threshold, I am super invested in the characters and the stories. So anything after that is like top peak viewing. Game of Thrones, Breaking Bad, The Walking Dead. The latter seasons of those series have been mind-blowing. I've loved them. My next question is from American Mum, who has been so supportive to me since I started my YouTube channel when they found me. So thank you so much. And her question is, what advice would you give someone who's thinking of starting their own channel? Any challenges? There's loads of advice that we could all give, really. I think the main one would be, don't put pressure on yourself or go into this expecting anything. What's made this so fun compared to my other times dabbling in YouTube is minimal work. I mean, I'm literally just sitting on my couch watching a TV show or a movie. So there's no real pressure for me to produce a certain kind of content, because if I just do me, I can't really slip up or falter on that. And in my first couple of months of doing this channel, I had about 20 subscribers, so I would say progress is usually slow at first, but keep at it, be consistent, and soon the numbers will start growing. But yeah, mainly just be yourself. The more comfortable you are, the better content you will make. And when it comes to challenges, I don't really know. I've tried a couple of challenges myself over on this channel to try stimulate some growth, and none with real success. So if anyone has any recommendations, let me know. Okay, so Sandra has 3 questions for me. The first one is, how old are you? And the answer is, I am 30 years old. Or am I 31? I don't know, I'm in my 30s. She also wanted to know, what did you want to be when you grew up, and are you doing it now? So when I was younger, I was obsessed with 2 things, and that was playing with hair and entertaining people. And right now I entertain people on YouTube, thanks guys, and I'm a hairdresser. So yeah, I am doing exactly what I wanted to do. And I am very much aware that not everyone is in that same position as I am. So I am incredibly thankful for how things just fell into place for me. And lastly, Sandra wanted to know, what are my thoughts on Buffy the Vampire Slayer? I ain't got any thoughts. I've never watched it. I know it stars Sarah Michelle Gellar, and I know there's a person in it called Angel. And is there a redhead sidekick, or is that Xena, the warrior princess? But yeah, basically, I have no thoughts on it. I know it's a cult classic, but I've never watched it. And if I did ever watch random episodes as a kid, nothing cemented in my brain. G'day mates, question is, how's life been in the UK, and what is your favourite gay bars over there? Life in the UK, if we ignore the government, politics, inflation of everything, the weather, it's fine, really. I'm very fortunate enough to live in a very progressive country with free healthcare. So those 2 things, that is enough for me to keep me sweet. Everything else is just background noise. And my favourite gay bars are definitely the ones in London, in Soho. You got J-Lei, you got Heaven, Halfway to Heaven, Gay Bar. Any of the clubs down Old Compton Street in Soho are the ones that I would recommend. But if I'm being very honest with you, I don't even really go to any gay bars anymore. because they're all a bit away from where I am now. So I just go down to my local pub. I actually think I'm the only gay person in my group of friends. My life as a teenager and early 20s was very gay dominated. All my circle of friends were gay. Every place I went was queer spaces. But yeah, in the last 10 years, because I've moved to a smaller town, there's not many gay people about. And so I'm like the token gay, and I don't really mind that. It doesn't really bother me. Okay, Jill asked 2 questions. What is my favourite series that I've reacted to? And what is my favourite movie? I'm going to say favourite series is a toss-up between Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. Because I found both of them to be incredible viewing. I mean, I'm in the middle of doing The Walking Dead right now and I'm having the best time ever, but because that story's not finished yet, I can't really make a judgment on that as a whole yet. And also, what is my favourite movie? Franchise-wise, it's the Harry Potter films. It got me into this channel, so I have an extra new, refound love for it. But funnily enough, my favourite movie that I've reacted to on this channel is Moana. I cannot tell you how obsessed I am with that film and its soundtrack. But recently I have been watching really silly, funny movies and everyone likes laughing, right? It's quite hard really to rank my favourites because I enjoy everything, usually for different reasons, which really helps this job be fun. Geeky Crafts asks, when are we painting the town red like Jesse Pinkman? I don't know, babes, you free this weekend? But in seriousness though, if I did have an opportunity to like hang out with you guys or whatever, I would jump at that chance because you guys do wonders for my mental health. A lot better than half the people in my real life, let me tell you that. Okay, Matt wants to know what made me decide to start YouTube, which has already been covered, and he also wants to know where I'm from. So I'm originally from London, born and raised. But I moved down south to a town near Portsmouth because I needed a quieter life. I was so wrapped up in the party atmosphere that London can possess that it was getting to the point that it was slightly out of control. So my sister was living down here already and she had to have an operation. So I came down to look after her children while she was on bed rest. I was meant to stay for 10 days and it's almost been 10 years. Kevin wants to know what my favourite show I've watched so far is, which is a question that's been answered, and something that I'm looking forward to. If we're talking about on this channel and media that I'm looking forward to, I'm not too sure. I think I'm looking forward to reaching the end of The Walking Dead. Because at the moment, that is like my sole focus, and I am really, really, really enjoying it. And it's not going to be until about season 10 I think, okay, I need to have a new series to replace the dent that The Walking Dead will leave once it's finished. So I am looking forward to the next venture. I just don't know what it's going to be yet. And although these big TV shows with a lot of episodes is super intimidating to start with, by the time I get into it and I'm invested, time flies. Nilbog asks, how did I get to be so adorable and likeable? Oh, thanks. I don't know how I became adorable. I guess you can ask my parents. Likeable, I think I'm quite chilled out as a person. I'm not into any drama. I don't care about gossip. I mean, plot twist, right? That's all I bloody want to do while watching these shows. I want the drama and the gossip. But in real life, I'm very relaxed. I try to live as stress-free of a life as I can. I don't overwork myself. I don't stretch myself thin too often. And I have a very small but crucial support system. And I think when someone is at peace with their life, they just automatically radiate more positive energy and become more likeable. So yeah, maybe that's what makes me likeable, is that I'm just kind of happy. Professor Chaos wants to know if I'm hoping to do this full time. I mean, I wouldn't say no, this is well fun. But I've definitely got a long way to go with that. At the moment, this is just like what I make at the moment from YouTube is just like extra spare cash. I feel like, and bear with me because my math is terrible, But once I get to about 20,000 subscribers, if I get to 20,000 subscribers, I feel like that would be enough for me to make a living on without having to work other jobs. But we'll see. I always did say at the beginning of starting up this YouTube channel on the 1st of January 2021 that I'm going to give this 5 years. I'll give it a chance for 5 years, see what I can make of it. And we're about to reach the end of my 2nd year. Okay, Girl Nettles has a series of questions. They want to know what my upbringing, family dynamic was like. They want to know, did I go to art school? Were my parents strict? Was I a chubby kid? Am I from an immigrant family? How many siblings? Stuff like that. So let's get into it. When it comes to upbringing and family dynamics, it's a tricky one. Because I don't want to speak bad or embarrass or call out anyone on the internet who, don't have the capability of defend himself, really. But my upbringing was not great. My family dynamic is not necessarily great either. My father was murdered when I was 7, and my mum was a single mum, and she had a lot of her own issues, bless her. So growing up was a bit tumultuous, and there were often times that I had to be taken care of by strangers throughout intervals of my childhood. That being said, me and my mum's relationship as an adult is amazing. She is brilliant. She's a really good friend. Was I a chubby kid? Actually, no, I wasn't. Because I have ADHD, I was on Ritalin, which suppresses the appetite. So by the time I was 11 years old, I was only 3 stone, which is about 45 pounds. But then when I moved to where I am now, I spent the first year in a hostel, and I was basically just eating takeaways for the whole year. So I ballooned up to 15 stone, which was my heaviest, and now I'm at 10. And yes, I am from an immigrant family. My mother's side is Italian and my father's side is Jamaican. But like second generations from each. So I'm just like diluted into what you see before you. And siblings, I have 3 siblings. I have 2 brothers and I have a sister. And my sister I am super, super close with. I would consider her my best friend. So yeah, the main people in my family is me, my mum and my sister. Stevia Wren wants to know, when are the boys coming back? And I know. I just haven't found the time. Which is so annoying because I was really appreciating that. But like I said, I'm so focused on getting The Walking Dead done and dusted that everything else is kind of falling by the wayside. But I had to get back into it because it's not like I got to episode 2 and thought, oh, actually, I don't really care about this. It's literally just been trying to find a time. But January, but do not hold me to this, January is a really slow month hairdressing wise for all hairdressers really. It's just after Christmas, everyone's skin. So I should have a bit more time on my hands. So if so, the boys will become a priority. And Steph's question, I've already answered. They wanted to know what my favourite TV show and why. I feel like I've explained that pretty well. And when it comes to TV shows outside of what I watch on YouTube, it is predominantly reality competition-based game shows with a social experiment aspect to it. Does that make sense? I'm talking things like Big Brother, The Amazing Race, Survivor, The Mole, The Traitors, The Bridge, The Circle, RuPaul's Drag Race. Basically anything where you just lump a load of strangers together, see how they interact, throw some twists and turns in there while they compete for a prize at the end. But that does not include anything love or relationship based. So things like Love Island and The Bachelorette, they're not really for me. But who knows, I'll never say never. I never thought scripted shows would be something that I'd be interested in. And look at me now. And the same with Samantha, who asks, have I ever been to America and how old I am? And I've just remembered I am actually 31. And no, I've still not been to America. But that is on the bucket list. I want to do a coast-to-coast backpacking tour. Because I know Americans know how to cook good food. And to be fair, that is probably the main selling point. But I do like a lot of American culture. But I won't really know until I get first-hand experience. So that is something I definitely want to do. And guys, that is all the questions we have for this Q&A. I feel like I've spoken a lot, and that's saying something coming from me. The next milestone is the big road to 5,000. And once I reach that, I might actually tell people that I do YouTube, because at the moment, I think only about 5 people in my life know that I do YouTube. I do not know why I've kept it quiet, but I don't have any social medias at all, so I don't promote it. And a lot of people in my life just know that I'm a hairdresser, so they think that's what I do. That's all I do. But once I hit 5,000 subscribers, in my mind, that's like a really good number to show off to people. So when people ask what I do, I can go, oh, I'm a YouTuber and I've got a really decent amount of subscribers. So that is the plan, because in the meantime, we're all each other's dirty little secrets. And talking of secrets, I wanted to end this video by giving you a kind of behind the scenes tour of my filming space and my editing space. Just so you got a bit of a better look into my production methods. Take it away, tour guide version of myself. Let me take you on a little tour of my filming space, which is actually just my living room. I got the studio lights on, the desk fan out and the camera ready, just to give you a general idea of the usual filming setup. Before starting my channel, I thought for a while about what I wanted in frame, debating between a cleaner, clinical, professional setup, such as this video, or whether I wanted something more raw, something more organic, just me on a couch watching stuff. And as you know, I chose the latter. On any given day, whilst filming, I'll have the fan on a low breeze in an attempt to not overheat under the studio lights, especially if I'm watching something stressful, and I usually have nearby a bottle of water and a cup of coffee. My camera only records in 1 hour segments, so when I'm watching a movie or a long episode of a show, I'm forced to break up my filming, which, while inconvenient, is the perfect time to replenish my coffee. And over on the other side of the room is my makeshift office space. This is where I do all my admin work and paperwork and invoices and all that boring stuff. But I've usually got some music on or a podcast going, so there's definitely worse ways to spend my time. I should probably spend more time at this desk than I actually do, but adulting isn't an activity that I particularly enjoy. But yeah, this is my space, the place I go before I start my day, to escape into a different universe, absorb what I'm watching, and speak my thoughts on what I'm seeing. And this is where the magic happens. Not like that, head out the gutter please. This is obviously my bedroom, but it's my quiet zone and a pretty pleasant setup for the most tedious part of YouTubing, the editing. It's easier to ignore the backaches, the technical faults, the long hours and the jumping through hoops to avoid copyright claims when you're in a place that brings you peace. But it's not all bad. I've spent many an evening sitting here, rewatching the show during the edit, picking up new bits of information along the way and reliving the emotions yet again. I've spent more time than I care to admit, crying, laughing, feeling anxious, sweating out and getting hyped all over again during the editing process. So I film before starting my day and edit after I end my day, and then I curl up in bed, ready for what fictional adventures await when I wake. And now we've come to the end of the video, but seriously guys, thank you so much. This last almost 2 years have been crazy and amazing and just brilliant for my mental health, my confidence. My bank account ain't looking too shabby either compared to what it was at the beginning of the pandemic. And I really do appreciate and value you all. So thank you. Here's the 4,000 subscribers. And until next time, stay safe out there.